Hi everyone, it's Dr. V on the beach, and as you can see, I'm on the beach. Look at me, I'm on the beach. I'm on the beach. I'm on the beach as usual, my loveliest place to be and to feel like I am so close to God and He loves me so much. But um, I'm here to share something with you today, and I'm going to share something from my book of brilliant ideas. And I don't know how brilliant they are to you, but here's one that's I think is brilliant. Now, I teach social work, and I also try to use some of the principles for myself because it only makes sense to, you know, try to use things that make sense. That if it makes sense for other people, it might make sense for you, but I'm not sure. So just listen, and you take from it for yourself what you think is good. So the model that I talk about all the time is the biopsychosocial and spiritual model. And it's a model that we teach in social work to assess problems and situations. And in the case of stress coping or stress and anxiety and coping, or however you want to call it, you know, the what do you do when you experience stress? Well, one thing we try to do is cope with it. But what it is that a lot of the stress that we're coping with, we're not even aware that it's something we're coping with. So I think that what we can do is look at yourself, or I looked at me, and pretty much I had great jobs, you know, never had a problem getting into a relationship. Getting out of a relationship was a difficult situation, but getting into them were pretty easy. Plenty of, you know, gentlemen out there that were interested. So, great jobs, great relationships. I had houses, I had money, I had friends, and it was everything was going good. But biologically, I was gaining weight. The BMI was going up. I was being diagnosed with everything under the sun. I had a bag of pills. And from that level, that says, hey, that's a signal. Something is going on with you. You're biologically, you're not where you need to be because you're not a picture of health. When you're consuming pills after pills for this and for that, that is a signal that there is something going on with you. So here I am in my power suits thinking I'm all of that, and I'm popping like a heart pill, a thyroid pill, a digestive pill, or this pill, a pill to make me go to the bathroom, a pill to make me stop going to the bathroom, a pill to quiet my stomach down, a pill for this, a pill for that. So on the biological level, I was not doing that great. And that brings me to the psychological level. Now, I'll break it down a little later in a different way for you, but at the psychological level, we're dealing with how we appraise things. Like, we can all be experiencing something at the same time. Like, say we go to the movies and we see something and it's like, I'm terrified by this, but the guy next door is laughing. Like, oh, So, we can be exposed to the same thing, but we're going to appraise things differently. And how we appraise that has a lot to do with how we were raised, who we were raised with, who we were raised around, the values that we grew up with, and the values that we choose to hold as our own. And so, some people have a better way of psychologically or mentally coming to terms with things, accepting things quicker or not, or finding ways to deal with it. So basically, from a psychological level, I realized I wasn't coping. I wasn't dealing with what's going on with my life because I was experiencing quite a bit of anxiety at times. Oh my God, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to get this report done. I got to get this done. I got to get that done. I got to do these meetings. I have to run here. I have to run there. When I'm going to have time for this, and I have to take the kids here, and I have to do this, and this one wants this, and mother wants that, and it was just like constantly feeling like I'm being pulled and stretched, and then all the while I'm actually believing I'm supposed to do all of this stuff. Like, all of this stuff is my responsibility. I'm like so believing that, and that was the most ridiculous thing. So when you're on this high and you're doing this, you're working so hard, part of part of anxiety, the other flip side is depression. And sometimes when you're busy, you don't realize that that's depression too. So I was in the type of depression where I kept busy and I didn't realize just how depressed I was until I literally crashed and crashed in my bed and did not want to get out of that bed for a while. And I didn't, being in mental health, I still didn't save me. Something's wrong with me. And how it came to my clear attention was I went to not even my regular doctor. I went to the gynecologist and I told him, I was feeling listless. I couldn't get out of bed. I was feeling like my body's heavy, heavier than it should be. And I just can't get moving. I don't know what's going on. And, I thought I was talking to him about my thyroid issue. And he said, well, this is not thyroid. This is what you're describing is depression. I was like, oh, snap. I really am describing depression. I said, oh, my gosh, I'm like in the DSM-5 right now. So, I get prescribed drugs for depression or what have you, or whatever it's called. And now I'm popping that pill. So, here I am on the top of my game doing all this stuff. Got 2 houses, driving a Benz, pimping a Rolex. I have every Gucci and Louis you can think of, shades, shoes, whatever. And according to the world, that's supposed to be success. But for me, it was exhaustion. It was depression. It was anxiety turned depression. And so, boom, that had to go. Socially, now, even though I had good relationships, a good social support network, and good social outlets, I found that I got to a point in my life where I was alone. Nobody could understand me. No one could understand what I was going through. It just didn't make sense. Or there was just so much judgment, or people had all these bright ideas, sort of like Job, go do this. Why don't you do that? Why don't you act like a doctor? Why don't you get a job? Why don't you go here? Why don't you go there? My social environment was not as supportive as I thought it was. And so, when looking around, I found myself by myself and, questioning myself and wondering, what am I going to do next? And so that that brought me tumbling to a place where I was seeking answers. And so one of the answers I found was to go back to my work. And I had written a dissertation on stress and coping among professional Black women that has so many jewels in it for Black women and working women in general. I just never did anything with it. And part of why I never did anything with it, because I'm still sitting here thinking, well, I did this big thing, but who's going to care about it? Now, that gets to another issue. It's called worthiness. And I'll talk about that in a different video. But right now, I'm talking about how I got to the next level of the biopsychosocial spiritual model for assessing where you are in life. So spiritually, I realized that I believed in God. I trust God. I confessed Christ. I grew up Catholic. I accepted Christ in 1994, and life was good and everything was great. Jesus and I are like this or whatever, and life was good. I'm having an intruder, but it's okay. And but I really wasn't feeling the power. I wasn't feeling the anything that was in the Bible that said it was, that I was supposed to get, feeling abundant, feeling, healed, feeling in my right mind, feeling good, feeling happy, feeling wealthy, I wasn't having those experiences, and I just didn't know how. So part of going on this journey and coming to the beach was really to connect myself back to my spiritual identity. And the best place to connect yourself back to a spiritual identity is in nature. So here I am in nature trying to connect back to what God intended for my life. And some things you could learn in the classroom, but I promise you, there's so much more that you can learn out here on the beach when you just sit here and listen. Now, I just close my eyes like this and listen to the water and listen to how magnificent that sound, and know that God created that. And just know that God created that for me and for you to enjoy and to heal, because there's so many places on earth that he put. God is a he. The earth is female. So Mother Earth has so many places for us to heal, so many places for us to come alive, so many places for us to re-energize. And what we need to do is be quiet and find out where those places are. I mean, I ended up here because this is where I'm supposed to be. I have no doubt about it. And I can't question it because there would be no reason why a piece of land with my name on it was sitting here waiting for me for many, 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 many years. I just never came and got it. So when we think about spiritual coping, we think about the things that are connecting us back to our divine identity and not questioning it. That's one thing I struggle with is questioning my divine identity. Like, can I really be that good? Am I really that holy? Am I really that beautiful creation of God, or is that just something that I say? So when I talk about the spiritual aspects, we're gonna dive deeper into it, but just know it's not for the lighthearted. It's not for people who just want to go to church like holy, 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 oh God. No, no. No. A spiritual journey is going to turn you upside down, shake you out, shake out everything that does not belong, toss it out, and produce you as, or present you, I should say, as a clean vessel, a clear vessel, ready to do the work of God, what God intended. So, whatever plan you had for yourself, throw it out. And the faster you throw it out and get yourself to the place where God wants you to heal, you know, that's when it comes alive because I couldn't heal from my couch. I couldn't heal watching YouTube videos. I couldn't heal talking and gossiping with friends. I couldn't heal repeating the same what had happened story to whoever would listen to. I couldn't heal any of those other ways. Sure, I could find some way to heal my biological issues, but the fastest way I found to heal it was breathing in this fresh air, like woo, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Like my friend Ralph Smart says. Yes, shout outs to Ralph Smart. I love you. And I took his advice, and I promise you, breathing fresh air can really, really, really heal you. Being in that salt water can really, really heal you. I mean, it's natural. You're not going to be healed spiritually again from your couch. You're not going to get healed from videos. You're not going to get healed from reading books. You're not going to get healed from talking to your friends or even going to some kind of therapy that just keeps you on that rocking chair of what had happened. What had happened was, and this happened, and that happened, and this is how it made me feel, and that one, no. Spiritual healing is going to take you to a higher level, and all that stuff that was bothering you before, trust me, it is going to poof disappear because you're just not going to vibe on that level anymore. You just won't. So as I take this journey to my healing spiritually, I will ask you to join me and see what I do. And if anything that I do inspires you, I hope it inspires you to take your journey as well, or take it seriously and understand that, one way to look at your life is from a biopsychosocial spiritual perspective. What's going on with you biologically? How many pills are you taking? I mean, how much do you weigh? And is that what you're supposed to weigh? Are you overweight? Are you underweight? How's your diet? What are you eating? If you're eating junk, you're going to look like junk. You're going to feel like junk because food is life. Food is energy. I'm not going to tell you what to eat. That's up to you. But biologically, get it together. Count how many meds you're taking and decide, I'm not going to take any of those anymore. You know why? Because I'm going to heal. Because sickness is really something we've made up in our mind in a response to something. So when you start healing spiritually, you dig into those things and get there. Number two, psychologically, what's really going on with you? I mean, how do you really feel? And who can you talk to? I mean, experiencing anxiety and depression is no joke. It really hurts. It really hurts in a place that you can't explain it to other people, and they think, you have everything. Nothing should be bothering you. And that's like the worst. That judgment is like the worst, and no one really knows what to say to people who are going through psychological issues. It's just like, oh, they're weird. Oh, let's not poke the bear. Something might happen, but, what I can say is, uh, pay attention. Everything that's going through your mind is a signal to you to pay attention to. Some things is for you to pay attention and throw it out. But pay attention and look at your social aspects. Who is in your social circle? Are they just there just to be there? Or are they there because they're divinely appointed to be there? Do they have a purpose and reason in your life? Or are they just mooching off of you and riding what I call your spiritual coattail because you're cool? They want to be cool with you. No, that's never going to help. We end up with energy vampires, people who will zap our energy, people who will take from us. And because we're too busy doing us, we're not noticing that someone is really sucking the life out of you and just, you're going to find it in your pocketbook because you're going to look down and you're like, what happened to my money? You know, what's going on with my bank account? And then you're like, oh, you're helping this one do this and helping this one do that, and this one has a problem, this one's calling you, and you just feel like you have to respond. Well, at least that's how I felt. So, you're going to feel a lot of things in your purse too when you're not in right standing spiritually. So, I'm not talking religion. I'm talking spirituality. When you have a deep connection to yourself as God, as the one that's blameless, your higher self, your holy self, your holy of holy selves, that self that's within you that would come out if you clear up, those filters. Like you have an ugly filter, like it's called hate and envy and jealousy and depression and anxiety and greed and gluttonous and selfishness and lying and all that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff needs to be wiped off your filter so that the beautiful, blameless, wonderful you can shine through so all can see. And when that is happening, you're going to know, because you're not going to attract crazy people anymore. You're not even going to be around that drama anymore. Your health will improve. Your skin will improve. You're going to look good. You're going to have great friends, powerful connections, and powerful relationships that are, loving and kind and not one-sided, and people who care about you, people who think about you. And that starts when you do it for yourself first. Because what I found is that I was doing it for everybody else but myself. And I thought I was doing it for myself, but life showed me that I was not focused on myself. And when you're not focused on yourself, guess what? That's when everything is off balance. You have to be good first. You have to be good within yourself first before you can help anybody else. So, we'll talk more about this, but this is my talk on stress, coping, and anxiety, and looking at it from a biopsychosocial perspective. Um, if this video helped you anyway, and even if it didn't, you can like and subscribe and pass it on, ring that bell so that you can, when I go live, you can get some videos. And I really appreciate your time. This is Dr. B on the beach. And I'm always on the beach, even when I'm not on the beach, because the beach is up here now. Yes, but I appreciate this beach. So thank you, God. Peace.